What's poppin'? We are live. What's going on? This is BMOC. You're now tuned into BMOC.TV. Shout out to everybody around the world who is watching us. Shout out to all my folks out there. My Amsterdam snapback. I know y'all see it. It's fire. Shout out to all my Dutch people out there. What's up? Let's see. Last week we talked about the Illuminati, or the lack of the Illuminati. Shout out to everybody out there who tuned into the episode. Shout out to everybody in the comments that agreed with me. If you didn't agree with me, there's no shout outs. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I see you diss that dude.
Yeah. Shout out to the fam. Shout out to the fam in the comments. He was like, oh, you work in the industry? All I see is your YouTube videos. And I'm just like, man. Like he was like, oh, is putting on YouTube videos the part of being in the industry? And I'm just like, should I run down like I don't.
You pulled out the resume.
I don't know. Like come to New York. You know what I'm saying? You may see my face on a bus. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Check that episode. You may see it in London. Check me out. Like I don't want to have to Ray J y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Don't do it to him.
No, but the problem with our people is that we marginalize each other. Like, if you do one thing, they think I'm paying my bills off of YouTube. Like, let's open your minds. Let's, ask questions before assuming, and follow me at IMBMOC if you want to know what I'm doing. All right, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Shout out to HCTV too. All right, so tonight we're talking about the Notorious B.I.G. I've heard this for some time, right? Now, first of all, it's gonna be somebody that's gonna say, well, "Why is this even a topic? Like, you don't know hip hop if you're arguing about Biggie." Listen, I've met a lot of old heads who are going to say the exact same thing that's gonna be said tonight. Some agree with it, some don't. A lot of people say Biggie's overrated. Now, I don't agree, but I can understand why somebody would even have that debate based upon the number of albums. So we're going to get into that tonight. So don't just go, oh, they must be hating on Biggie. They must be young heads. No, I've heard old heads and young heads say the same thing. I've heard 15-year-olds praise Biggie who weren't even alive, and I've heard cats over 40 who say it's overrated. You know what I'm saying? Compared to Tupac, something like that. So I've heard it all ages, so don't play yourself, all right? Just hear the debate. Here's the full discussion.
Never play yourself.
Yeah, please. Don't, DJ Khaled, congratulations. Don't do that, all right? Hear the whole discussion first, then type. Don't see the subject and then start typing. You gotta hear it first, all right? All right, so shout out to the best hosts around the world. The shout outs may be joining us. He's caught up with some things right now. We're going to hold him down regardless. Erica, say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody? It's the youngin', the young OG. It's E, you know what I mean? You can find me at _real E, Twitter and Instagram. Check out the podcast, the Radio Fail TV, the Radio Fail Twitter and Instagram. I'm ready, you know what I mean? My 4-4, make sure all y'all kids don't broke. You know?
I thought you were about to jump some bars just now. Like Erica has a new gig now. She's rapping now. That's what's up.
Turn my headphones up.
I'm saying, right? Chad, say what's up to the people, man. Say what's up.
What's up, everybody? Watching these NBA playoffs. Jumping off. Go Spurs, go. Follow me on Twitter at Rebirth of Sosa. On Twitter, hit me up.
You know. Right.
What?
Okay.
Right.
2016 on them. 2016 on them. Well, 2013. You know what I mean? But it was all good. Glad you're on, though. Glad you're on. Chris, say what's up to the people, man. The Don't Flash shirt. The Don't Flash shirt. I'm loving it.
Appreciate it. Live from Bedford-Stuyvesant. Repping the livest one. Repping
to the fullest.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
follow me on Twitter. ChrisB06. Instagram, The Baddest Chaplain. Of course.
Represent, man, represent. And last but not least, man, all the way from the West Coast, man. West, man. Trevor, say what's up to the people, man.
So you want to be hardcore with your hat to the back, talk about your gat to your rap?
Hey.
Nah, man, what are we even talking about, man? like, I'm here in Cali, man. I'm going to take down regardless, man. Ain't no way, man. Big's one of the GOATs, so let's get it cracking.
All right, okay. So where do I begin? So when Biggie Smalls, well, first before Biggie Smalls came out, before Nas came out, as a kid, this is like kindergarten, first grade, I was listening to like Criss Cross, MC Hammer, Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? It was a gumbo. And then in 1994, something amazing happened. Illmatic happened. You know what I'm saying? And Nas came out. He was lyrical, miracle, spiritual, all that stuff, and it opened my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, where has this been? This thing called hip hop. I gotta do it. And then right after that, the next album I heard was from the Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die, and it was just incredible. The lyricism and the metaphors, and it was like I couldn't even digest what I'm hearing right now. Probably some of the best things I've heard in my entire life to this day. And not just Ready to Die, but like the features and the Only You remix, and it was just so much stuff. So from that point on, Biggie and Nas like cemented themselves in my top 5 based on my experience. But I understand that everybody's experience may not be the same thing. But for me, it's going to be hard to match that experience and that talent based upon the time that he came out. For me. So I think Biggie's perfectly ranked where he is. But we may have people that disagree. So let's go around the room. I want to ask the question, is Biggie Smalls overrated, or is he certified in the ranking that people have put him, which has been top 5? So I'm going to go to Chad, man. What are your thoughts?
I think Biggie is well deserved of his top 5 spot, but it's debatable. It's debatable. I don't think he's the GOAT though. Like when you consider that like greatest of all time, like you see the pictures of Big with the crown on his head. He doesn't deserve that crown, but he does deserve a spot in the top 5. He's not the greatest, but he's good.
Oh, that hurt me. Like my rib just got punched right in my rib. Chris, who's in Bedside right now as we speak, how do you feel about
Stuyvesant?
Christopher Wallace, Biggie Smalls, Frank White? What do you think, man? What's up?
I think if you're gonna create a checklist for what an MC has to be, Biggie hits the top list on all of those categories. Like there's no aspect of it when you're talking about lyricism, talking about showmanship, personality, iconic status, that Biggie's just a quintessential MC. Like he's probably your favorite rapper's rapper, or your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. You know what I mean? Like
especially if you like Jay-Z.
Especially if you like Jay-Z. You know, Nas, like you said,
Big up my brother.
It's up there for me too. But Nas makes it clear too that Biggie's one of his favorite MCs of all time, also. So, you know, a lot of the guys that we love and we want to put in that GOAT conversation. If you're gonna say Eminem, he listens to a lot of Big. Like whomever you're gonna mention, if basically all roads lead through Brooklyn. I'm sorry, there's no other way.
Oh my, here we go with the Brooklyn elitism. All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
We talking about the GOAT right now. You know what I mean?
All right. Okay. Cool. Erica, how do you feel about Mr. Christopher Wallace?
Definitely overrated. I always thought he was overrated. I never really liked Biggie like that. I mean, yeah, his songs. I like Bad Boy. I like Puff, and that's what I think Big was. Big was just, it was a lot of flash. It was a lot of bravado, real flamboyant. But as far as anything else, it wasn't that deep to me. If Big didn't die, it wouldn't have been that deep.
God.
It would have just been like cool. He would have had his time, and that would have been it. But otherwise, yeah, Big's definitely overrated. In fact, he's only a legend because he died. If he ain't died, he ain't really no legend. That's it. He only had 2 albums. Like, come on. Nah, Big definitely overrated.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm the gate.
My phone make sure all y'all kids don't grow.
Oh my God.
Are you just riding for Pac, or you just really feel that way?
I never really liked Big like that. I mean, yeah, I like some of the songs.
Just now. I just
you
cried.
Know what I mean? I like some of the songs, but I really like Big, honestly, on the strength of Puff, to be completely honest. But I never really was a big fan of Big.
It's funny because I work backwards. I like Puff because of Big.
Right.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Like, it won't for Biggie, but I don't know. Some of the other stuff, I don't know. And Mace up too. Trevor, how do you feel about Notorious B.I.G, man, from the West Coast? What's up?
Yo, I'm taking it back of what I just heard. But let me gather myself and find some words. First of all, what is a Puff Daddy without Biggie Smalls?
Sure. Yeah, like, Craig Mack, man.
I mean,
he had Jodeci, he had Mary J. Blige. Let's not do this. Puff is cemented. Let's not do this.
I don't even think. Hey, Walter, get Puffy on the phone. I don't even think Puffy would argue that.
Puff would have been Puff without
I don't
Big.
know.
Let's get that. Let's get that. Puff would have been good. Puff would
I
have been
think
good.
so. She right. I think so. I
Puff
think
would have
so.
been good.
Flavor,
No, man.
it was one of the top like hip hop songs of all time.
Wait, Puff? Nah, okay, Puff would have been good, but he's great now. Because of Big. He'd have been okay. He'd have been like, he'd been, I don't want to say would have been, but I don't know.
He's trying to put together a reunion show right now. You think he's not gonna play any of the joints he did with Big?
Of course he is. Of course. I mean, yeah, I give it to like Big. Big definitely had a lot to do with how Puff is now, but at the same time, without Big, Puff would still be here. Let's not get that twisted. Puff would still be here without Big. Now with Big,
But doing what? But doing what? But doing what?
Doing him.
Delivering mail or a CEO of a record company?
CEO of a record company. Everything he's doing now. Puff would still be here. Now if Big was alive without Puff, would he have got to that status that he got to?
No. No.
It was
I'm pretty sure Entertainment or somebody would have found him.
What made Big pop was that sound, the flavor, all of that. That was what made Big pop.
Well, I do agree with Erica. If it was not for Puff and the influence and him saying to focus on the melodies and the sampling and the whole style, of course, I think they made a great partnership. Because even Puff said recently that Puff wouldn't have rhymed if it wasn't for Biggie.
Exactly.
And Biggie was pinning that the sun don't shine forever. Like, I mean, the best verses came from either Big or Bass. You know what I mean? Or Lou, or G-Dep, or Rob, or Cassie, whoever. Go ahead, Trevor.
Somebody not touch. Like,
I was waiting for
you talk like Chris was talking about. He talked about. I mean, he checks every box. Like you go down the line of a lyricist. He could go with anybody. Every man, Bone, the Locks, anybody, the Mace. He get on a track he burning them.
Got it.
He's a dope storyteller, unbelievable flow. I mean, like he checks every box. You just go down the box and it's check. Commercial success, check. Hits, check. I mean, he's almost the perfect rapper. But part of him being the perfect rapper is that is due to him only having 2 records. But like he literally has no flaws as a rapper. Like, give me one.
His content.
Okay, let's talk about the content. Let's go to content. Okay, so content-wise, Chad, what is Big lacking in content?
Well, Big basically rapped about, street stuff like guns, partying, stuff like that. He really had nothing like, he didn't have anything conscious in his repertoire.
Sky's the limit? Is that conscious?
That's not conscious. That's not conscious. That's a feel good. That's like a feel good joint right there. It's not conscious. He ain't dropping no knowledge in that. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, no. Give my daughter this college plan. She don't need no man. Like, that's not conscious. Like, what?
No, that's not. That's not conscious, man. That's common sense.
Oh my. Well, common sense is conscious.
I think Big didn't have a lot of variety in terms of content. I think it really wasn't a lot of variety. Like, after a while, it was kind of like, all right, Big, what else are you gonna say?
When you think about Big, you thinking kick in the door, waving the 4-4 and all that type of stuff. You don't think about no knowledge or nothing, like,
And suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, man.
And like Juicy and like this, like, I mean, he has. I don't know.
Biggie had some real personal tracks where you got to know him a little bit on record. The other big thing is, like, he was so dope, and we forget he died when he was so young. Did he even get time to mature into that rapper? So people look at it on one end as far as, he only had 2 albums, so he can't be a GOAT. But I'm like, dang, think about what could have happened if he would have been 6, 7, 8 albums deep. What would he be talking about now?
He could be DMX too.
Exactly.
He could have went the other way. DMX got like the first 2 albums start, like that was amazing. But then after that, it started going down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Big could have went that way.
Well, let me say something real quick. And this is no disrespect to DMX because I was a big DMX fan when he was out.
Me too.
I get it. But if you today, if you listen to those same first two albums, some of those songs did not age well at all. I'm gonna keep it a
Not at
buck.
all.
Some of them Swiss Beats records, what? Some of them songs didn't age well. So DMX had a lot of great momentum, but as far as timelessness, the first two albums were classic albums. There were some classic songs on them,
Right.
But Big's first two albums was only two albums when he's alive were like flawless. Like they were like impeccable, perfect. Like who else has two first flawless albums? Who?
The other thing that's and that's what I was about to say. Is Biggie essentially has three albums. You know what I'm saying? Like he dropped a double disc, and it's arguably the greatest double disc in hip hop history. That maybe All Eyes on Me, definitely not Blueprint 2, but so Biggie got three records. You know what I'm saying? We got to get into. I don't want to hear no Jay-Z fan ever disrespect Biggie ever. We got to get into that. So Erica, if you rock with Jay, I don't please. We got to play it into.
I mean, here's my thing. I'm not taking away Big's talent. I'm just saying I feel like it was overrated only because at the time Big was quote unquote representing New York, and it just was like if it wasn't for that, then I don't think it would be that deep. Like everybody in Brooklyn and New York, and I guess the East Coast was just hyped just to have somebody on that side, but it really wasn't that deep. Like I really don't think like Nas is way better than Big. You know what I mean?
I agree on that.
But because Big had that flavor, because Puff gave him that flavor. Big was able to cross over and do some things that maybe Nas wasn't able to do. But that's it.
But flavor is an important part of being an MC. Like I can go up there, and this is why I think a lot of lyricists fail. It's because folks think that because they're kicking knowledge, that makes the whole package. If I'm saying the thing that you need for your life, but no one wants to take the vegetables I'm giving you, then I'm not really a good salesman. But like most of the best MCs have to be able to move the crowd. You know what I'm saying? And I think as much as I love Nas is definitely my top 5 permanently. But
absolutely.
We talk about overall showmanship and everything. You have he would say it himself that Big was better than him, and that's okay.
Well, I think Nas may have been a slightly better lyricist, but in terms of being an artist, I think Biggie eclipsed him as an artist very fast. I think the gap of lyricism is really small, but I think the artist-wise, Biggie covered a lot of ground in like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like 4 years. I mean, and not just the two albums, by the way. I'm talking about like features too. Like he had standalone features that were in remixes and stuff. We can't just throw those out too just because they were on the album. Like we give Wayne and Jay props for their features and their remixes, but Biggie had a lot of content even when they weren't on the album. You know what I'm saying?
Biggie. You know, he doesn't even have bad verses. Diddy was on the Breakfast Club the other day, and he was like, "That's why Biggie didn't really have many records after he passed.
Yeah,
he was just so efficient with what he did, and it came out in the music. Like, I'm serious. Name a whack Biggie verse. Like, where are they at? He don't have none. And
it's a few rappers. It's
Girl,
a few rappers
so
I consider
good,
about.
make me suck on your daddy's. What was that?
That was Richard Pryor reference.
I was just always a little confused about that line.
And what about his man Gutter? The Gutter that do kids in the butt, throw them over the bridge, man. That ain't cool, man. You hang out with somebody like that? He said that was his man. Like, you hang out with somebody like that? That is not cool.
Okay, I got one. All right.
Yo, and then Big went the whole private school. You know what I mean? I was watching the behind the music special on him, and his mom was like, yo, that whole Rags the Riches story, he definitely exaggerated because we was not living like that. And even people on his block was like, Big was the first to have the Sega games and everything.
Oh, he was a fraud, Erica?
That's what I mean. I'm just saying.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
my God.
You know what I mean? The whole birthdays was the worst days. Might have not been that bad. You know what I mean?
The sardines for dinner? The sardines for dinner were real?
It might have not been. Now, according to his mom on that Behind the Music, she was like, nah, it really wasn't like that. And his friends was even vouching like, yo, he was the first to have a Sega game.
So he already had the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
It wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? So,
okay, well, Sega didn't come out. They're gonna come out to like 92, all right?
Some added up.
Atari. He had the Atari game.
Yo.
How did he have that? He was already like 20 when Sega came out.
That's how rich he was. Rich people get it early.
He was like 20 when Sega came. Whatever, we're getting off track. We're talking about the music here, people. It's the music we're talking about, okay? Okay, hold up. Let's go back to the classic albums. Let's go back to it. How many people who are in our top fives, our personal top fives, have their first two albums be classic records? How many people?
Nas.
I think Nas.
Nas has one in a possible.
Yeah.
Illmatic and It Was Written?
It was written.
It was written.
Okay, It Was Written is debatable. I'm not debating it, but it is debatable. It's not a hands down classic. Illmatic is not debatable. It Was Written is debatable in some circles. It is. It is.
Yeah. Not my circle.
At the time,
It Was Written was his like most successful, almost like one of his first successful albums. Like I hear more people actually. Some people say that they like it was written better than Illmatic. I'm not saying that.
I heard that.
You know what I mean?
I've heard that in our group.
And they smoke a hookah in the bathroom. It Was Written was dope, but the lyricism and the cohesivity and the storytelling of Illmatic is unmatched. Like I don't know
what they're talking
about. There's more radio-friendly songs. I would say it was written. I think it's probably more easy listening if you're like a first-time listener. But like it was Illmatic is like it's like the genesis of the whole era. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree that Illmatic is better, but like it was written, I felt like that was one of his.
You got I Rule the World on that.
Okay,
that was,
Affirmative action.
Okay, cool. So even if we give Nas 2, let's say It Was Written is not debatable. Let's say we give him 2, right? Who else can we say? The Jay-Z's first two albums were they classic?
Nah.
Volume 1, he did his best Biggie impersonation.
Jay's second album was a dud. Jay's second album, he'll admit that too. It was a dud.
Yeah, it was like the Biggie leftover tracks for the most part.
Yeah.
He had to do Biggie. And that's the thing. I think the reason why Biggie's legacy over the years, it seems like it dwindles less and less to it goes down more and more, is because, for instance, on the West Coast, even as dope as Kendrick is, like I'm in the West. We've had nobody come close to replacing what Tupac did for us in that moment. Yeah. The fortunate thing about Biggie is that Jay kind of took where Biggie left off, and he went with that. So the void is filled. So when the void is filled, we start forgetting about the things Biggie did. Well, the West Coast ain't been no Pac void filled, and there won't be. But you got Jay, who literally is like, who's literally like, man, him and Biggie are so similar. It's like, okay, well, we got that feeling again. So
I would kind of agree with it. I think it took a long time for Jay to fill that role. Like he definitely didn't get it in like the first 3 years.
Yeah. No, he definitely did.
Keep in mind when Jay was just like, he didn't get hot really commercial wise until Volume 2. And at that point, DMX was competition, Mace was competition. He had a lot of cop before Jay was like, I'm the man. And then even when he said, I'm going to be the man, trying to knock over Nas came back and then knocked him to the side. So Jay had a very long fight. But Big came in almost uncontested because of his talent. Because when Big came out, keep in mind the West Coast was popping. G-Funk and Snoop and Dre and Tupac, they had it on lock.
Cube and all those guys.
Yeah. It took Nas and Biggie together, and they literally brought an entire spotlight to New York. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Like when Big passed. I can't hear.
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I was gonna say when Big passed in '97.
Yeah.
What happened on the West Coast was that I felt like I mean on the East Coast, I felt like it was like a race to see who was gonna be the king of the East Coast. Like, and it started all that. You had like Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, all those guys was popping at that time. But on the West Coast, when Pac died, it's like the West. I mean, I hate to say it, they kind of fell off. They went into the abyss. They coming back now. They back now, but like, oh man, like.
Now.
The Outlaws probably the weakest crew ever. Like,
yo,
I didn't say that. Shout out to the West Coast. What's up, my people out there? West Coast.
The Saint Lunatics better than them, yo.
Wow.
Nah. Not fair with the mad. Not fair with the mad.
Murphy Lee over Fatal Gaddafi or whatever his name was.
Petty flowers, petty showers. I don't know. All right, so we get enough said. Okay, so we said Nas, Jay, no, Eminem. Eminem's first two albums classic.
I would
you
say
got
that
the Marshall
Eminem,
Mathers LP and the Slim Shady
LP. Yeah.
Both of those are classics.
Some people debate that the Slim Shady LP is almost classic, and Marshall Mathers is hands down. So that's still debatable.
That though, the Slim Shady LP is
I like it's a classic, man. Like
so I think the Slim Shady gets the props when you look back at it. It's like it wasn't that when it was there. Like Ready to Die was that when it was here.
Immediately.
Slim Shady was it was like Marshall Mathers is dope. Let's go back to the Slim Shady LP. Oh, now it's classic. That's why.
What about K-Dot though? What about K-Dot's first two albums?
Well, what are his first two? No. What do we consider his first two? What are we considering?
Good Kid, Mad City, and The Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
But Good Kid is technically the second, though.
Well,
major record debut, like his major record release.
Section 80 technically is his first full album level. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta take Ice Cube.
Most people. Good Kids can't be the first. I mean, it's like had part twos on it. I mean, it's like.
Yeah.
I mean,
Trevor said, what about Ice Cube?
Oh, those are both classics.
Well, he came from a group. So, I mean, his first two solo. We're talking about...
Hold up, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But listen. Biggie Ready to Die is the first time we've heard Biggie. First time we really heard Biggie on his own platform. Like, I'm talking about from start one, finish line. I mean, the starting line. So we have to base everybody. So Section 80 was not a classic.
Kanye.
Oh.
Kanye. Oh, there we go. We're getting somewhere. Kanye. Yeah. Okay, College Dropout and Late Registration. Those two classics.
Classics.
Those are both classics. Like they're undebatable.
Cool. Now, is Kanye West on anybody's top 5?
He actually is in mine.
Okay, he's in yours. Chris,
nah,
he's in yours?
He's not in.
I love Kanye, but nope.
Trevor, is Kanye to the in yours?
Kanye doesn't even write his rhymes.
Cool. Like Chad, is Kanye in your top 5? We're all respecting Kanye. Kanye's great. Is Kanye in your top 5?
Nah, he's not.
Cool. So okay,
I love Kanye.
So scratch him off. So who's in y'all's top 5 that has first two classic albums?
So Cube is somewhere near my top 5. Nas is definitely in the top 5. And then Big's definitely top 5. So I would say Cube, Nas, Big.
Okay, Erica, who's your top 5?
I mean, I got Seagull,
Yeah. Let's get to it. Is this first two albums?
It's not classic. It's not. His first two albums are not classic. His mixtapes is popping though. You know what I mean? Warm Up and Friday Night Lights.
True.
Oh my gosh.
True. Okay.
So that's popping. Of course, Ye, and then Marshall, of course, Nas, Hov. Where's my last one? How many did I say just now?
And Big. Cool. Add Big.
Ain't no big. You know what? I forgot Pop.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one. Thank you for that.
No, it's no Walter.
Hold up. No, let's do it. It's Tupac's first two albums.
No.
Considered classic.
I mean, I agree that no. I agree with that. No.
No.
Okay,
No, I agree with that.
okay. So if the whole argument is based upon Big is having 2 albums, and there's not a lot of people who have first 2 classic albums, why wouldn't he be
Lupe
that?
is in my top 5, and his first 2 are classic.
But they're classic, especially Life After Death. They're classic because he died. Like,
No,
Oh
it's
my
classic
Life
because
After
it's
Death
great,
is
though.
a classic.
No,
God.
Life After Death
Life
is
After-
legit
Life
classic.
After
That's
Death,
a solid
because he
project.
died,
Erica,
yo.
if anything, it gets kind of spooky.
That's a
and, like,
masterpiece.
sad that he's dead while you're listening to it because he's talking about things he wanted to do or people trying to kill him. That was like, oh man, he's dead. So it actually worked out badly. But the music in terms of quality is superior.
But you know, Erica, my rebuttal for that would be, his third album was what? Was that Born? Was it? What was the third one?
Born Again.
Was it? What? It was Born Again, right?
Born Again.
So Born Again is not considered a classic by anybody,
No.
right? And he was dead. So if that's the case, if we're using that logic, then that would also be classic, and we don't consider that classic.
But it came out like right after he died though. Like everybody was full of emotion when they heard it. It's different.
We're still emotional. In case you can
Yeah, it
tell.
was 20 years old.
But it's a difference. It's a
But Born
difference.
Again,
It's like when you heard it and it's like, man, Big died, and then it came out and it was just that much emotional when you hear it. Like,
But no one's listening to duets right now.
exactly.
Man.
Hold on. Wait. Okay. Hold on. When did Life After Death come out? Let's do some research here.
Like February '97.
It came out February, right? When did Big die? March, right?
Oh, no, like March. So it might have came out like late March or April. Yeah, or April '97.
So Biggie died in March.
Yeah.
When did Life After Death come out?
Like late March, early April.
So when Life After Death came out, how long was it before Big died, or was it after he died?
I'm about to say, I thought it was after he died.
Yeah, it was after he died.
Weeks after he died. I'm about to Google and see exactly the
Because
release date.
he was I think he was in L.A. He was promoting a new album. They was playing. They was playing Going Back to Cali when he was at the party.
Right.
But was it out?
No, it wasn't out. It wasn't out.
Right. So the album came out after he died.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So let's see. Let me see exactly what's the exact date that the album came out. I want to see something real quickly.
Erica, you was a baby when that happened.
Still know
The
hip hop.
album came out March
I knew.
25th, and he died March 9th. So the album came out 16 days after he died.
All right.
Oh
cool.
wow.
Cool. And that's super spooky. Okay, perfect. So basically, the argument is that because he passed away, that the feelings and the emotions, Erica said, the feelings and emotions could have propelled the album to be more classic than it would have been.
I think what it propels is the numbers. I think it does propel numbers. I don't think it propels critical things. I think there's something to the
So then my argument would be, because it's like, okay, if we're saying the album is only classic because he passed away, Ready to Die, he was here, and that was the album that came right before it, and that was classic, and he was here. So I'm like, it wasn't like he had a bad album in between, where he had an okay album, and now it's like he was putting out classic material consistently. So why are we assuming that this just happened to be because he died? The only variable is Big, like Big dead, Big here. It was still hot.
The other thing we got to remember, love as much as we love an album like Illmatic, Let's had it locked during that time, so Illmatic didn't do no numbers. Illmatic was trying to push to gold. Ready to Die, I believe, we went platinum in '94, right in the heart of the West Coast, having it popping, because Biggie was that nice. Biggie was that dude. So, I mean, other guys in the East Coast were struggling to eat, no matter how dope they were, because we talk about Illmatic.
Hold on, Ready to Die was a slow burner. That was a slow one. That was slow. That John did not just go straight platinum. That was a slow one. That was a slow burner. That was a slow burner.
Well, okay, you both are right. It wasn't as fast. Well, Juicy didn't propel it. It was One More Chance that really took it up there. But that wasn't a long time period. So that was like the second single.
Yeah, that's just people found the record. Yeah, but during that time, East Coast rappers doing that. Like it was all about the West Coast. Biggie was the only person who found his way through that. Like I said, as dope as Illmatic was. Even Reasonable Doubt, man, wasn't nobody checking for Reasonable Doubt in '96.
Nah, it wasn't. They definitely wasn't.
I wasn't. That was a go back and research album. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna kick it. I was too busy on Nas Big.
We was
I
in.
heard the first Jay-Z album I listened to back to front was the joint with the Annie joint. I'm not the Annie joint, but the
Volume 2.
yeah, Volume 2
Right.
with
Yeah,
Reservoir Dogs and all that on there. Then I went
super
back and copped Reasonable Doubt. I went back and copped it.
Okay. So basically, so I wasn't gonna mention sales, but since Trevor brought it up, are we gonna look over the fact that Biggie, I mean, commercially critical? Like, what I'm trying to get to is, why are we saying this guy is underrated? Like, I'm trying to get to the point of, like, he was nice. Like, I don't get, like, he was the nicest.
Let me tell you why he might be considered to be overrated.
Please.
Because for one, he has 2 albums long. Give it, they're 2 masterpieces. And then he had the posthumous albums that came out after he died. Nobody really acknowledges those. But we're talking about the 2 masterpieces he made while he was living, the 2 creative albums. Now, you have other artists such as Jay-Z that came along, Nas, DMX, all kinds of, like, Eminem, just great rappers. They put out bigger bodies of work. So some more quality music. Some would say that those artists, even though he was the greatest and it was cemented at that time, those artists surpassed him on that scale. And that's why when people say he's the greatest, you look at the artists who have, surpassed him in their eyes, and they're like, okay, yeah, Biggie's overrated because we have a lot of artists who have passed him. That's one argument.
Eminem surpassed Biggie?
Yeah, I mean with the albums he put out, like, okay.
No, you mean the quantity or the quality?
The both. Like, what? He has like you got some rappers who have 3 classics or 4 classics.
Based on albums or based on just
based on albums. Like, Biggie has 2 classics, and somebody like Nas will have like 3 or 4 classics.
Right.
So some people would be like, well, Nas surpassed him.
Okay. Let's back up for a second, because shout out to Slizzy. We're gonna have an episode about what's considered a classic, right?
For sure.
But okay. So let's keep this in perspective, right? And I'm not trying to compare Nelly to Biggie, right? I'm not trying to do it. Okay. Nelly's first album is considered classic for his catalog. That doesn't mean his classic matches up to Big's classic. Like, Marshall Mathers LP is classic. I love it. One of my favorite albums. Marshall Mathers LP is not better than Ready to Die or Life After Death. Like, that's Eminem's classic. That doesn't mean it's a classic above. Eminem can have 4 classics. His 4 classics may not match up to Ready to Die. I mean, let's keep it a buck here. Like, I mean.
But that's what makes the Nas argument so interesting to me, because I think Nas is the only rapper who I can say put out an album better than Biggs. Because I would put Illmatic above.
Deshaun is back on, man.
We gotta get some things straight.
Oh my God! Here Deshaun comes. Here we go.
The pickup with Chris left off. I think the Blueprint is better. I think the Blueprint is better than Biggie's albums. Jay-Z's the Blueprint.
Okay, but see, hold on. We're changing this topic. Okay, so you said earlier that these other artists may have more classic albums than Big. What I'm saying is, just because they had more classic for their classic doesn't mean those classics are better than Big's 2 classics.
But they're legitimate classics, and they keep putting out that body of work. You got that longevity. Big only dominated rap for what, 3 years maybe, and we don't know if, like, Jay-Z's been on top for like over a decade.
Let me call Heaven Records to make sure.
First of all, I appreciate everybody, holding it down, for the culture. Absolutely. So the first thing before I get into Big, I gotta address this overstated West fell off stuff. Gotta stop, man. I'm gonna tell you why. So we've been talking about for a few years now. Nas and Jay been holding it down, but New York ain't really had a lot of up and coming guys holding it down. But it's not necessarily talking about New York fell off. Now, you talked about Pac dying in '96.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about Dr. Dre dropped an 8-time platinum album in the United States in
Here we
1999. 8 times platinum. The Chronic 2001 still gets played all over the West till this
For
day.
sure.
That's true. That's true.
That's 99. Then
Yeah.
you talk about Dr. Dre was at the lead of the whole G Unit movement, so we didn't have a particular artist, but 50's sound and influence was coming there, and Snoop was dropping in his peak. Snoop with the late 90s, early 2000s, Snoop was dropping The Games Would Be Sold. He was going 3-4 times platinum, and in 2005, The Game brought it back with 5. So it wasn't this long 10-year gap where the West was off. And I'm not going to talk about all the local artists in the Bay and NorCal that was holding it down because that's not a national scope. As it pertains to Big, I think, you know, Trev been knowing me. We've having this argument for a long time about the resume ain't as extensive as you would like it to be, but I also understand there's certain people that just can't be overrated. Like, you can say he's not as good as X if you feel that way, but the term overrated just don't sit with somebody as nice and as influential. The influence is so great.
Right.
He can't be overrated. Like, because, like you said, if we go into hip-hop circles and say he's overrated, Nas and Jay and Emma all leave and stop talking to us. Like, they won't talk to us no more. Like, I can't even say that.
It was gonna be like, I hate you guys.
And the capper to that, to agree with what Walter was saying, what always brings me back is, like, I have a lot of people that, like, Big to me is that spot I try to get people to top. So, like, my favorite new artists, you know, Game and T.I., I'm like, man, are you better than Big? And I love T.I., and I'm like, but T.I., you don't have 2 that's like Big's 2. You got 5 or 6 or 7, but in 2 you can get 2. And Kendrick's one that has some stuff that's comparable, and you know, and they get them albums. But until you get 2, it's like, it's kind of hard. Like, you got to kind of stay there because I'm 2 for 2. I'm Bo Jackson, so you can't really rock with me. So I can understand people leapfrogging and not having him top 5, but I also can't understand him ever having a title overrated associated with him. Like, that just don't mix.
Yeah, because as I say, an artist's 4 albums, their 4 classics may not still equal up to Ready to Die. That's your 4. The Pimple Butterfly to me is a classic record.
For
The
sure.
Pimple Butterfly ain't better than Life After Death and Ready to Die. So you can have the shot's gonna argue that with me.
Let me but like okay, as far as like it goes, did Ready to Die or what's the other one? Life After Death. I had a brain fart right then. But did those albums really change? Did they change the face of hip hop music?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
It would have sounded different if Ready to Die didn't come out.
Absolutely. The whole bling bling era, of course. It changed everything.
A great article in The Source about Nas seeing Big win the Source Award and just like seeing all the love and accolades he got, and it really affected Nas's whole outlook on like the kind of music he has to make. That's why It Was Written has that great commercial sound that it has.
Yeah.
Then it came out with
and on top of that,
say what you're right.
Oh my God.
that was on Nostradamus, man. That was on Nostradamus.
Which is his worst album ever. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Get Me Now is where he got Diddy backing him up with Big Change. It looks real Biggie-ish.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. For sure.
Hit me now.
For sure.
Biggie's influence has that goes unquestioned, man. Like you know, I'm glad Shaunis came because we've had this argument a million times, man. And I have one question I think is really, you know, this can't not be talked about when we talk about Big and his legacy. Like, how comfortable do you feel putting Jay-Z ahead of Biggie? I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't feel comfortable doing it. He's taking too much from lyrics to quotes. I'll never feel comfortable saying he's better.
You know what? I've been battling with that for a long time. Like, if you'd asked me this question 5 years ago, I would have 100% agreed with you. But based upon Jay-Z's body of work, I would not be mad if somebody ranked Jay above Big because his quality of work and quantity have kind of matched. It kind of up and down, consistent. He's had peaks and valleys, but Jay has enough verses, man, to be ahead of Big if he wanted him to.
I wouldn't be mad either. I can't do that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
You know what's interesting?
It's crazy.
Maybe it was the time hip hop was in, but something I always remember about like the Ice Cubes, the Biggies, and the Pacs. Like, man, like my parents and aunties, like, they're still their favorite artists. I got 55-year-old aunties that have punched somebody for talking crazy about Ice Cube. Like, my mom seriously, I was at my mom's house a couple hours ago, and she said, I saw the title of the episode tonight. Say something about Biggie. Like, we talking about, like, and as much as I love K-Dot, my mom probably don't know who K-Dot is. You know, like, aunties and uncles don't really know who the new hip guy is, but Big and Pac and, you know, Ice Cube, like, they're kind of like, that impact is beyond everything, you know? So, like, they kind of made it commercial, so that's why Overrated, like, when we had the Pac episode, you got to bring impact in here. Not to mention Biggie's ridiculously nice. Like, that's just obvious. But then the impact is like, how could I be overrated? Like if anything, I can be underrated because I had such a small time and my impact is so great. Like, I almost can be underrated because people forgetting.
Right.
That's very true. And
I don't think nobody forgets Big.
Well, we're also forgetting something too. Every major rapper that came after Big has quoted him or done some type of pieced together song with him via acapella studio. So, I mean, it's that. I mean, what else do we want? I mean, even in the 2000s, all of a sudden, Biggie's phrases were being put on hooks and with beats behind them, and then they took Jay's verse of him saying a Biggie line and reverse like the Remy's in the system, and then that becomes somebody else's hook. I mean, it's like, what are we talking about? Like, Big is still in the DNA today. Like, people are rhyming like Biggie today.
Yep.
Gorilla Black is rhyming like Biggie today. Rick Ross is rhyming like Biggie today. You know what I'm saying?
Game on the last record did that too.
Who's rhyming like Tupac? I mean, respecting Tupac, respecting
Lil Zane,
got Wale, and Little Zane.
Ja Rule.
Hey,
No,
but
just like him. He rhyme like him.
if you go say that, then we gotta pay tribute to that whole theme that Kendrick brought together on what you call the best album last year, The Pimp a Butterfly, because that was very much Pac influence. So the rhyme scheme may not have been all Pac, but you're talking about the influence, so let's just keep it let's keep it even.
Okay. All right. You got me, okay? You got me. Separate. All right. So Erica's not trying to hear it. Erica's like, whatever. You guys are your love fest for Biggie.
You know what? I'll say, you know what? You know, I might be biased because coming up, you know, being younger, you know, I listened to a lot what my big cousins was listening to. And my big cousins was listening to West Coast. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to Doggy Style. I was listening to the West Coast music. Like, I like them. It's the craziest thing, and I say it all the time, is I like the old West Coast, like, crazy better than I like the new West Coast. And that's, like, the craziest thing ever. Like, I didn't really start getting into, like, new East Coast music. I didn't start getting into, like, East Coast music until maybe like 2011, 2012. That's when I started delving into East Coast. Otherwise, I like West Coast better.
Erica, that's not crazy though.
That's
not crazy because at that time and era, in the early 90s to like up to like 96, 97, the West Coast pretty much had the best music. So that's not crazy at all. You was listening to what was hot.
Well, no, hold on. I wouldn't say one area had a best music. I would say they had a bigger spotlight, but best is subjective. Just because it was commercial doesn't mean it was the best music.
If the West Coast had the spotlight during that time where it's almost impossible to take it from the East Coast, that means you are just killing them. Because nobody wanted to take
I know. No. Okay. We know we can East Coast. Listen. Raekwon, Cuban Links, Mobb Deep, Infamous, Nas, Big. I mean, come on. I mean, most of the classic rap albums we talked about today came out in that period where West Coast had the spotlight. So we're not gonna pretend like West Coast, like it was just no good music coming from nowhere else. Like we're not gonna go there tonight.
Well, that's like 95 though. That's like 95 though. That's when the East started making the comeback. The Empire Strikes Back.
From the Chronic to All Eyes on Me was the West Coast's most prominent years of hip hop. And in between that time, there were a lot of albums that came out that weren't from California. So we're not going to front like that was the case. It wasn't. We wouldn't have had this episode tonight if that was the case.
They should have been pushed back. No, I'm just messing.
Okay. So I'm going to go down. So to me, in my Biggie has first two albums that are classic. Tupac. A lot of people say that Tupac's better than Biggie, right? It's always this debate about who's better, Biggie or Tupac. Tupac came to the game, and what year did Tupac come to the game? What year?
Well,
91.
Trap. I think 90. It was like it had to be like 92. I want to say.
Well,
92.
Digital Underground. When was that?
Records, his solo records, like strictly for my niggas and all that. That was 91, 92 ish.
Yeah.
Right. So if Tupac, Lord forgive it, would have passed after his first 2 albums, would he have still been the Tupac that we know and love?
No. Death Row made Tupac.
Cool. But Biggie comes up with 2. But Biggie gives us 2. Biggie gives us 2 classic albums, and we're debating that this cat is not who he is. Like it's just, I'm flipping out. Like
I gotta push back on what Chad said though, because I feel like at that point, like you talking about like 92, 93, he would have still made Juice and Poetic Justice. So he'd have been like a huge. He'd almost be like what Aaliyah is to people. I think that's what it would have been. He'd have been like
right.
You'd lament the potential.
Exactly.
But they said that on the episode we had. I mean, the debate was she wasn't a legend. That was like, and then most of the people was like she had potential to be, but she didn't quite arrive there yet.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm
like,
saying that, but to me, Tupac got his legendary status when All Eyes on Me came out. That's when I heard Tupac being thrown in that realm as the best out. Yeah. Like while he was alive. He was alive when that album came out.
5 years in the game.
Me Against the World, he was starting to pop. He was getting there. But Tupacalypse Now came out in 1991. Strictly for My Niggas came out in 93.
Right, Me Against the World came out what, 93, 94?
Yeah,
95.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, Tupac, when he was in jail, he said he was listening to Illmatic, and that's what influenced him when he came out of jail. So I mean, he, all that. Okay, so that's what Tupac said. He said he was in jail, listening to Nas, and that encouraged him to do Me Against the World. Like that's what he said. I mean,
I mean, you can hear the influence of it. You can hear the influence from Nas to Jay and Jay. They both got a lot from each other. That happened.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so Chad, in terms of Biggie's status, is he top 5 to you? Is Biggie top 5?
Oh, of course, easy.
Okay, so if he's top 5 to you, how can he possibly be overrated?
I said he was overrated in the realm when you start saying he's the GOAT. I don't think he's the GOAT, but he's top. Like he's top. He might be 2 on my list. But he's not the GOAT. I give that title to Nas. So when I see these Biggie shirts and sweaters, they're really nice clothing items, nice garments. But when he has that crown on, I'm like, he doesn't deserve that crown. That's why I'm saying he's overrated in that regard. But if Biggie's not in your top 5, I probably won't even talk hip hop music with you.
Okay, Chad. Let me ask you a question, Chad. So let's say me and you are taking a test, right?
Okay.
Let's say me and you taking the test, and you had, let's say, an hour to take the test, and I had, let's say, 10 minutes to take the test, and we both get the same grade. Should you get the same credit as I do? Because I completed the test, got the same grade as you in 10 minutes, but if you had an hour, you got the same grade. So should we be graded on the same level?
No.
I think what matters.
No, right?
No, you're right. No.
So we're comparing Big, if Big is a 10-minute cat. These other people are hours, 2 hours.
So let me break it down like this, Walter, to your point. Here's what matters.
Go ahead.
Do you have something significant? First of all, can you match what Biggie's doing? Can you come close to it? And then do you have anything significant afterwards? Prime example, let's use 50 Cent. 50 has 2 very good albums, classic, whatever you want to call them. It's not his episode. I'm not going to debate. But 50 has something that you can almost rival Big with for some consider, right? And then you say, okay, Fifth, do you have anything after that makes your existence after Big's death worth it? And he doesn't. So it's like I don't have to really fight too hard for you because it's not like you have this really good third album that I'm forgetting about. On the contrary, if you can argue it was written and Illmatic all day, but like
and then still matter
the top, and then still matter. That's what I'm saying. So he has stuff that matters after. You can pick any 2 you want. Same with Jay. It's like if you take Reasonable Doubt and Blueprint, okay, whatever. Let's say you still think Big's ahead, but is he ahead enough for the Black Album and American Gangster not to matter? So that's what I do. I think the other artists, like it's only a few of them that can do that because with Eminem, like it's one of my favorite artists, but after the Marshall Mathers LP and the
It
Eminem
went
show,
down.
it don't really
Yeah.
matter to me. So that could be like, if you feel he's better, then okay. But if not, I'm not really tripping because it's like he didn't have anything that was really great after that. So
And that's what I was
third
saying. Like
album.
some artists might have surpassed Big. That's what I was saying.
Well,
In some people's eyes, not mine, but like some people's eyes.
Eminem's an enigma because it's like his talent level went up, but the songs went down. It's really weird. His skill got better, but the actual content.
That's crazy.
It's a weird thing with him.
It's exactly because I hear a song like Rap God and been like I hear that like Eminem's Rap God and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But then the rest of the album is like snoozers.
Yeah, and even that, he's like lyrically, he's better than everybody, but
he just can't make the greatest songs.
Song making isn't translating it. So that's we're gonna explore that in another episode. But to Shauna's point, I agree. And to Shauna's point, there's some people that say, okay, Nas should be top 5 hands down because Nas was able to compete with Big, and he's still here. Some people say that Jay shouldn't be top 5 because Jay only became relevant when Biggie passed away. That's what people say. They're like, if Big would have been here, Big would have always overshadowed Jay because when he was here, he was doing like Jay.
That's an interesting take, though.
Jay had to find his way, compete with DMX and all that. They may not have been all of that if Big was still here. So
it's very much a double-edged sword. I always look at the other genres. I look at it like this. Like, if somebody asks me why do you think the Beatles were great, I'll be like, man, because they did all that music, some of the greatest records of all time, they did them in a 10-year span. That's unbelievable, right? And then somebody asks me, why is the Rolling Stones so great? And I'll tell you how they did all this in 50 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like both arguments, like that 10 years, only 10 years, could be detrimental to the Beatles, depending on how you look at it. They only did it for 10 years.
That goes back to my test example. That's why I'm using the test example. It's like, if I get more props for doing something great in less time, when you get the same props as me, that took you an hour. Like, we're comparing Biggie and Tupac, when really, if you're looking about the time period, Big did more in his 4 years. Well, I'm not saying more. He probably did as much as Tupac when he was here. Like, then you get to those things outside of the albums. Okay, you say, okay, well, what was Biggie's impact? Who did he influence? He influenced Jay. He brought Kim into the game. He had Little C's. He had his own label. He was writing for Puff. He had features. He had remixes. Like, you get into so many of these intangible things that's like, how could you not put him there? Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Like, Big showed cats how to, like, commercialize the game. Like, he showed cats what to do today. I love Nas, but Nas was worried about being the best MC out. Biggie was worried about being the best artist out.
Nah, Puff showed people.
I think that was Puff. Yeah, I think that was Puff.
Puff had a lot of cats. He never had another Big though.
Right. Never.
Puff is still here. Puff has not created another Big. Mace was something, but Mace wasn't big, and none of them have been big. So we can't say that. Puffy has signed 1 million artists. They have not been Biggie. So what was special about Big? It wasn't special about Loon and G-Dep, and they don't, but they won't be.
And it's two things. I'm not too keen on giving a producer or exec too much credit unless this person ain't writing their rhymes, and Big was definitely telling his own stories. Or two, if they had a hard time like getting off the shelf. Like The Game, I remember hearing whispers of how he was on G-Unit and he couldn't really get off the shelf before 50, and Drake kind of helped him. So they can get some credit for that. But Big wasn't on no shelf and he wasn't getting no help with his rhymes. So Puff was all right, but I'm not keen on giving Puff all this. Puff ain't the talent. Big's the talent. And I said Puff don't have any talent, but in those packages, it's Big show. Like, let's not do too much with the pop.
Yo, but Puff gave him the swag, yo. Puff gave him the swag, and Big was a lot of swag, yo. Yo, Big was a lot of swag, yo. Big was a lot of swag. And Puff gave that to him.
Well, I think you can only direct talent if they're talented. Like, Puffy gave Biggie direction. No lie. But Puff gave a lot of cats direction that flopped. So they
give me an example.
Black Rob, G-Dep, Loon, 1 million rappers who are great, who are good, but they were never Biggie. There was other Big. He didn't do it.
Hey, what was hot though?
I think Mace would have did it, but he wanted to get out.
But he didn't.
He wanted to get out.
It was
He had 2 albums that didn't pop. He had 2 or 3 tries, and they wasn't big.
I think his first album did. I think his first album did do
It
good.
ain't big though.
It did good, but it wasn't ready to die good. I mean, are we debating this here? What are we debating?
No, I'm not debating. No way. Wait a minute. No way am I debating Mace was as good as Big on anything.
Bad boy. It's dope. I would have seen it on the show, but it's not ready to die good. Like, it's not. So
we can use a Jay-Z line for what we're talking about. Puffy did to Big. Like what Jay said about Dame. I heard motherfuckers saying they made Ho. Made Ho say, okay, so make another Ho.
and he didn't. And Puffy is still here.
Man, Puffy, he tried with guys who sound like Biggie Shine. Like, there ain't no Biggies walking around.
Sean's first album was dope, though.
Okay, man. Everybody got dope albums. I got a dope album. You know what I mean? It ain't ready to die. Like it ain't. Like
Hey, he went gold though. He went gold.
Okay. Oh my God. All right. So okay, let's wrap this up because we're not like Biggie is undeniably top 5. Matter of fact, I think Biggie's underrated.
Right?
Nah.
He needs more props. Can
I throw out somebody and tell me?
I think he gets his props though.
Go ahead, Deshaunus.
So let me ask you this. You know, you guys and this guy we think highly of. How does Big compare to Scarface? Is it reasonable for somebody to have Face above Big? Is it reasonable?
Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't.
I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world. You know what? we were talking about it at the gym the other day. I just finally got to Deeply Rooted. I just be listening to so much other music that sometimes I get the albums and records super late. And from the faces he's doing right now, it's the way he's one of the greatest of all time. Somebody wants to put face there, that's cool. But, you know, for me, Biggie's that dude. I think Pac's bigger 1 and 2 for me, and I go back and forth.
But hold on, but Scarface, I don't know if I would put Scarface in the top.
Yep.
I would put Scarface above Biggie. I wouldn't put him above Biggie though.
No,
I wouldn't.
Why not? Is it just personal preference, or because he got the resume, he got the skills, he got maybe the impact, but I mean, Scarface is one of them guys that don't have the commercial impact that Big does, but within the game, within the community, his impact is very huge.
For sure.
I think Scarface's content is on par with Big's, but I think the skill level is a really big margin for skill level in terms of lyrical skill. I don't think Scarface is rhyming with Biggie on the same. Not like a Biggie and Nas. It's not like as a big comparison, a big gap. But I think the Scarface is a big gap. We talk about just the word flipping and the. Yeah, I don't know. I can't do that. Scarface
with the storytelling, they both like the same though. Scarface got some great stories.
Storytelling, great. That's great. But if I tell you, I want you to go to the store and pick up some milk, that's okay, great. But I'm like when you go to the aisle and pick up the
to play devil's advocate, the gap between Scarface's career is maybe larger than the one between the lyrical thing that you're talking about. There's a gap in both sides. So if I'm just from that area and I'm repping Face Mob because he's from my area, and I'm like, man, Face is up there. Look at the longevity and the classics. And I want to make that case. This ain't no, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't like he just try. I mean, somebody. Okay. I'm just saying.
Well, okay. I guess you play devil's advocate. Okay, so play devil's advocate. What would be 2 classic Scarface albums that would compare with Life After Death and Ready to Die? Like, what albums are we thinking about?
The Diary would be one.
Diary and Fix would be his 2 best records. Untouchable.
Okay.
But to your point, they're not Ready to Die like that.
Right. But I'm just saying, yeah, he got some stuff. So, like I said, and when I rated him, he wasn't up there. But I'm just trying to find people within that. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, he got some for the people, he got some for the culture. So
I get what this
somebody out there that you know, I'm just trying to see what's reasonable because I think there are certain people like based on you know just their reputation in the game, people would have them above there, and we wouldn't argue. But I don't think it's like Rakim. Like somebody might have Rakim or KRS-One above him too. I think that may not be as I couldn't conceptualize as much as I could somebody having Scarface. So I'm trying to see who are the people we could realistically put above him.
And shout out to Big for shouting out the whole Rap-A-Lot joint on the joints. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Shout out to that.
yeah.
Shout out to Big for rapping over a G-Funk beat. Shout out to Big for rapping with the Notorious Thugs with the Bones of Harmony. Like I mean, in his 2 albums, he really covered a lot of ground, a lot of different areas. Like you talk about versatility and like early episode, we were like, oh well, he was rapping the same stuff. Big was covering all different types of styles and flows and delivery. Like, how dare we say that he was doing the same thing? Every song was different. Every song was hypnotized was different than Juicy.
One thing I could say about Big that is just separates him from other artists, whether past, present, or future. It's like whenever I listen to a Big song, the music never like ages. Like man, like all those joints still rock. Like you listen to Who Shot You, and you could get somebody that raps like somebody today, and you can play Who Shot You. It sounds like something that was just made in the studio a couple of months ago.
Cause he's lit. Cause he's lit. What we talking about?
with Big, like the features you were talking about, Big has so many heavy hitters and so many collaborations during this short span of time. But it's funny because that's the same thing that people talk about. Jay-Z is standing next to what's hot. Like people use that against Jay, and I'd be like, it's crazy. And I'm not saying Big did that, but I just be just here to say that's how people be like, well, Jay, like, and those people were all hot. Like Big, I mean, Bone was hot. The R&B groups, 12, they were all blazing, and it was a great collabo. But now, Jay, you know, as we overanalyze things, they're like, well, Jay just doing that because they was hot. And I'm like, well, none of them hotter than Jay, but whatever. Like
that's true. That's a good point. I think with Jay. I think Biggie's presence was just so big, man, and for lack of a better word. But with Jay, I think it just took Jay a lot longer. Like Jay was the student with the hour test, and I think Biggie was just gifted. I think that's what it was. I think, and Jay was able to benefit. Like in the Aaliyah episode, right? We said, well, who would Beyonce be if Aaliyah was still here, right? It's kind of almost the same debate as far as a gap being filled. Biggie was his own gap. Like he was it. He didn't fill a gap. He was big.
Yep.
There was no gap to be filled. He was just nice. He was from New York, and he happened to shift it to New York. That wasn't probably his goal. He just wanted to spit. He wanted to be nice. That was it. There was no plan to bring New York back like it is today. There was no plan to bring the West Coast back. It was like, I'm nice. I'm so nice. You're gonna pay attention to everybody who's in this whole area, who's in this whole borough. Like that's crazy.
Like I said, man, he hasn't took no L's. We talk about the what with Method Man. Where he's rapping like Bone on a Bone record. He's rapping. He's got on numerous tracks with Jay. He ain't took no L's, man. Like, and it's
some people say Method Man got him on the what? I've heard that. I've heard that in some circles. I've heard that in some circles.
That was crazy. That was
okay.
Method Man was doing his thing.
There was no feature that somebody killed Biggie on. Like there's no like.
Eminem got him on Dead Wrong. Eminem killed that on Dead Wrong.
Oh my God. I was having sex with them. But I don't get into that. I hate that. But I just like
hey,
okay.
M got him. M got him.
The flow with
yeah, somebody posthumously.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Right. I'm gonna call Heaven Records right now. Like, Eminem verse was dope, but he hit Biggie's rhyme. I mean, that's cheating, man.
Exactly. You heard Big Drive, right?
Hold up. And it still wasn't Renegade. So it's different.
There wasn't no distance on Renegade, man. That's what that.
What? Are you kidding me? Okay, whatever.
I'm 100% serious.
M won on Renegade, but Jay's verse was like hot.
Was insane.
No. That's the new Ice Cube. Like, come on, we're not doing that. Not tonight.
Listen to it when you get off. Listen to it when you get off here.
I was listening to it earlier.
And Jay's verse was crazy.
Jay's verse was crazy. But how Eminem, that second part with the like. Oh man, forget it. Eminem's coming up. Eminem's episode's coming up soon, so don't worry. But go ahead, Deshaunus.
I was just gonna tell Erica, Renegade was a collaboration between Jay and M. Good time, 2000, right around the time.
Don't try to play her like that.
I know Renegade. That's one of my favorite M songs. It's my
Right.
favorite
Look
MC.
over there.
Since I'm in the position to talk to these kids and they listen, I
Go
am.
ahead, Erica. Go ahead,
You
Erica.
know,
Spit the bar.
Okay,
Spit the bar.
okay, Erica.
Spit the bars, Erica. Spit the bars,
That's
Erica.
what's up, man.
Bars on deck. All right. So
It came out.
I'm saying, all right. So, any last words on this whole big thing? I'm going to Chris, man.
Yeah,
Get the bread.
you know what?
I got some last words.
I'm willing to say maybe I
going to
just
Chris.
Yeah,
don't
they
get it.
throwing it all off.
I'm willing
Yo.
to say maybe I just don't
Go
get
ahead,
it.
Erica.
And I'm willing to say that. But I know this. When I heard Illmatic, I got it. When I heard College Dropout, I got it. When I heard Reasonable Doubt, I got it. I didn't get it when I heard Ready to Die. It wasn't that big a deal to me. It was like, all right. But I don't know. It just didn't hit me like those particular classic records hit me. And that's how I kind of gauge classic and legendary status. If they hit me as soon as I hear it, like, oh man, I see what they're talking about. And I just didn't see it with We're Ready to Die. Like I don't even listen to the Ready to Die.
But hold on, when you played Ready to Die for the first time, was it a bad day? Was it hot outside? were you hungry? Because
No boyfriend just broke up with her.
Because the experience sometimes changes the music. So maybe like try a good day, get a Slurpee, go to the
Hey,
beach.
I know what happened. She listened to Hit 'Em Up, and then she put it on for the first time. She had red in her eyes. She was like with a bandana on, throwing a dub up, and she listened to it like, he ain't that.
Right.
Did your umbrella break? Was your headphones fall out your ear? Like, what was going on? Give it another shot. Give it another shot.
Hey.
It's what the experience. So Chris, I was saying to Chris, any last words on this whole Biggie thing, man? What's up, man?
What boils down to it, man, I think we just don't know how to appreciate greatness. I often tire of conversations about Biggie because they immediately go to comparing him to Pac, which they're both icons who deserve to have their own conversations rather than just being slapped together. I think it often goes down to us comparing him to, guys who got their careers really flourishing after he was gone. And when you look at the whole thing with him and Jay, I think Cornel West said it best with that. Jay was really playing the Plato to Big Socrates, you know what I'm saying, where he was trying to carry the torch for him in a lot of ways. Big is someone who, rather than, I think sometimes when we talk about rap, we got it twisted. Rather than think about someone carrying it for a long, long time, like an LL or Ice Cube or somebody like that, think about it like this. The sort of deep impact that he had in such a short period of time, it's almost like dropping 81 in the game, dropping 100 points in the game. Like, there's a lot of things that people have done in rap, but what Big has done is timeless. That I can play Big for my grandkids when they're like teenagers, and they'll still appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Over 12 though. Make sure they're over 12.
That's what I said. When they're teenagers,
Yeah.
Not the little ones.
Don't play Machine Gun Funk to a third grader. Like when I heard it. Right, exactly. Tad, any last words for the whole Biggie thing, man?
Yeah, I just want to clarify something.
Here we go.
Because I know what's gonna go down in those YouTube comments. So
you know it.
The word overrated sometimes is overused.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Big is not overrated. He's not underrated. I think he gets the props he deserves from his peers and from the new school.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say I just don't think he's the GOAT. That's all. Okay. He's number two on my top 5.
That was a mean moonwalk. Moonwalk. Woo! That was a Michael Jackson 1983 moonwalk.
He gonna give a Pepsi endorsement.
But no, I'm not.
Hey, they want
a lot of times, in order to give credit, it seems like in order to give credit to an artist, like I would like for people to appreciate Nas more. Sometimes we feel like we have to take away from what somebody else did to give somebody else props, and sometimes you get caught up in that. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay, all right. You little sidestep. It's all good.
No disrespect to Frank White.
or Big Papa. Pause if necessary. Y'all know, dang Lord. Trevor, any last words about this whole Biggie situation, man?
Yo, I gotta give this disclaimer. I'm from Sacramento, California. I'm in the West Coast. I am a Pac fan. I ride with Pac. He's one of the greatest rappers of all time. He's probably number 1 to me. But like the other two were saying, man, that don't mean we don't give Biggie his props. That don't mean we don't give Nas his props. That don't mean we don't give Face, Cube, whoever. And there's so many great artists out there, man. So, you know, in '95, I had to pick a side, and I had to throw up I had to throw up West Side. But man, it's 2016. Man. They're both legends. They're both great. And take home ready to study it, folks.
That's what Biggie said. All I got is beef with those that violate me. I shall annihilate thee. Case closed. Come on. Eric, you gotta get on it, Eric. There's too many shit out here, Eric. Eric, if you want to listen to Big, what you need to do is just play certain tracks of Jay-Z. I'm going to give you the list of Jay-Z songs so you can still hear the content and not hear Big. How about that?
Right.
Some Fab, too. I'll give you some Fab. Early Fab. Deshaun, any last words on the whole Big thing, man?
Yeah, man. I think, you know, Walt and I think we talk about this a little bit, man. I love the BMOC conversations because they help you evolve, you know. And like Trev said, we've been going back and forth for years about the whole Big thing. And, you know, I would always knock him on his catalog, just to have the conversation. But at the end of the day, when I really, you know, we had to do these top 10 lists and I put it up there, it's always hard, you know what I'm saying, to try to put somebody, it's difficult to put somebody above Big because of what he's done. And I just kind of let you know about his greatness. And that's part of the issue. Sometimes we get into this competitive stage of trying to evaluate things and place people against each other. And you have to start knocking people down just to make room for other people. It's like, man, at the end of the day, man, the best thing is Big was kind of like raw, uncultivated talent. You know, when you talk about Jay, one of the best, one of my favorites at this time, and I wouldn't have an issue putting Jay above him, but you can hear the struggle, the identity crisis through Jay's career, and you kind of appreciate the evolution. Well, Big just came on like from the jump, like this is me, and it was just effortless from the jump. He was just kicking runs, like, man, how do you not appreciate how effortless and how comfortable he was in his skin, man? It wasn't made up. He wasn't trying to be nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So Big is always gonna be dope, man. He's always you writers out there, man. He is one of the best people you can listen to when writing rhymes, man. Like, he is one of my favorites to listen to, man. If you're gonna talk about wordplay and lyricism and storytelling, put on Big. And lastly, man, like I said, you know, Chad, man, we he go back with us to Smith, man. We always give Chad a hard time because he can be annoying, but Chad got a big up this week, man. I was walking out of work. One of my homies, Jay, you know, he's a faithful watcher, man. He said, hey, I'm gonna let you know right now, you my man, but Chad, that's my dude, man. He said, I follow him on all social media networks. I'm in the sports group, whoop. So Chad really got a fan base out there, man. So it's real. We give him a hard time. Chad got it popping out here, man. So give Chad his props where props is due, man.
You working out of a bar? You working out of a bar, or you working out of
he wasn't drunk, man. He was sober, man.
Okay, cool.
Out there, man.
I'm just checking. I had to make sure.
I understand, man. I ain't no hater. I'm gonna give props where props is due. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. I thought that was a cool little tip, man.
I gotta hit up Jamie. Say she got
appreciate that, Shaunis.
I gotta hit up Jamie since she got competition now, man.
Yeah, man. It's up there.
Him, Donita, whatever the other person's name was. Then they called Donita and then Chad. All right, Erica, I got to you, but I'm back to you. Any last thoughts, Erica? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, man. Like I said, maybe I just didn't get it, and I definitely will put my hands up to that. I just didn't get it because I listened to Ready to Die, and I feel nothing. I listen to Life After Death, and I feel nothing. It's like okay, it's cool, but you know, whatever. I can go on with my life. Whereas when I listen to Illmatic, you know what I mean, I was listening to that like at least you know, twice a day when I first started listening to it. That's how much I saw that. But you know, it's whatever. But you know, you can follow me _real_E, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Make sure you go follow the Radio Fail, Twitter, Instagram, and yeah, we get it popping.
And don't attack her in the comments, or anybody. I defend everybody. Like, everybody has a right to their opinion. So if you don't like something, just say why you don't like it. You have to attack the actual person, okay, people? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, Eric, because they might get you, yo.
Thanks, Chad, for putting the extra fire behind it, right? Okay, so Deshaun, any last shout-outs?
No, that's what it is. You know, 916-3500. We here, man, all the time. Support the culture. Get on the. Well, you know, I don't want to take Walter's job, but support.
Chris, any last words, man? Loving the Barry Allen shirt, man. Shout out to the Flash, man.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. Yeah, you know.
You in the movie? In the Batman vs Superman movie?
What happened now?
You see the Batman vs Superman movie?
I still ain't see that joint, man.
Oh man, you gonna love Barry
I
Allen.
got a bootleg link. Holla at me after the show.
We don't endorse. Every system that we don't endorse, man. Whatever that says we don't endorse.
Local theater establishment.
Go ahead, AMC Regal. Shout out to y'all. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh yeah, man. Just hit me on soundboothradio1.com, Instagram Baddest Chaplain, Twitter Crispy06. Yeah, man.
Holla at him, man. He knows his hip hop. Chad, any shout outs, man.
Yeah, I just want to shout out Barack Obama, the President of the United States. I like what he's doing with the Brothers Keeper initiative. I'm looking at that. I might sign up to be a mentor. So, I mean, I feel like I could tutor the youth, nurture their brain. You know.
Oh my God. They tutor you. Yo, y'all see the picture? It was who was in the picture? It was Talib.
Oh my God.
When J. Cole didn't have on a suit.
Here we go.
You meet the president and don't have on a suit.
It was Pusha T. Who was it? Pusha T. It was Talib. It was somebody else. And J. Cole. J. Cole, Erica, can you explain why J. Cole wouldn't have a suit on?
Well, Kendrick didn't have a suit on either in that video he had with Barack. He didn't have a suit on. So I mean, I'm saying, maybe it's just his style. I will say I think he definitely needs to get a haircut. I think the timing is now.
Yeah.
At first it was
That mean he in the studio, Erica. That mean he in the studio.
I mean, that one came out a while ago.
Yeah,
he about to drop some new heat.
He definitely need a haircut though. It's time.
I mean, he's been recording the whole time, but that one came out like 2014. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the haircut, but yeah. But shout. That is a great brother. Yeah. So shout out to. If y'all don't know the information, please go and search that. That's a really, really great initiative of the great artists out there. Trevor, any last shout outs you want to give, man?
Yeah, real quick, man. I must really love this show. If I'm missing the Giants right now, the Giants are on Sunday Night Baseball. I gotta really love this show, yo. So shout out to that. The other thing, man, is I always challenge people to do, and Charlotte knows me real well, is that, man, there's so much beautiful music out there, man. Just like I feel like music is so racially divided, man. I feel like, especially in the African American community culture, we're stuck in hip hop, R&B music. But really, rock music is ours, folk music is ours, country music is ours. Man, so I challenge people today to go listen to a classic album of somebody that's not in the hip-hop and R&B genre. Go listen to the Beach Boys, the Rolling Stones, Grateful Dead, somebody. There's so much beautiful music out there, man. So let's not marginalize ourselves, in the words of Kanye West, and stay in the same lane. Let's look at it all. Beautiful music out there. I
agree. And if you want to be safe, start with Lenny Kravitz.
Hey,
start with him first, and then move on.
Does Maroon 5 count?
No.
I don't know. I think Adam's black. I don't know. He might be mixing something. I don't know.
Justin Timberlake, man.
He got a lot of features. Okay, somebody who has been featured with a rapper. So yeah, I guess Lenny is out. I don't know. Okay, so if you want more content, all you gotta do is subscribe to YouTube.com. So that's BMOCTV. If you love what we're doing, like the page, go on it, join us. If you hate what we're doing, join our group. Facebook.com/group/BMOCTV. Keep commenting, man. Let me know that you're out there. I will be resuming my shout-out game. Oh, yeah. For those asking me about the album reviews, they're coming, okay? My first album review back is going to be Drake's brand new project, Views from the Six. I got some new stuff, too. I got some stuff for you guys. So that's my first review back in the album review game, and I'll continue doing that after the fact, man. These albums have been... I was going to do the Kanye one, but Kanye dropped when I was on a plane. Like, Kanye is still doing his album. Kanye is still finishing that album as we speak. I can't review it. He can change it. I don't know what to do.
He keep changing. He changed 30 hours this week.
It's like 31 hours now. Like, he's changing. He's changing records. Like, I'm hearing one song, I'm digging into it. It's like a little violin. I'm like, where's this stuff coming from? Like, stop playing with it, man. Pause. Stop messing with the album.
We need to redo that episode because I'm feeling that album now, man.
Right? Yeah, the more I listen to it, the more
I was listening to Wolves, and I was like, man, this is epic right here.
Okay, so I got a confession to make. You know, maybe it was the overseas thing. I don't know, but I've been playing that Designer track every day
Yo, that
Talking
plan,
about
that
Panda?
joint popping.
Yeah,
Popping, yo.
I got girls in Atlanta. Some I see Santa. All that joint is hard. That joint is hard, man. The
Hey,
part
it's
one.
the ad libs, Walter. It's the ad libs. The blah.
Blah.
Sound like Call of Duty in the background.
If I kiss this model, like that whole joint is hot. It's fire to me now, man. Part one and part two, man. So go back to Kanye. Kanye's like it grows on you. It grows on you. Okay, so yeah, subscribe, do all that. Shout us out every Sunday, 9 o'clock. Tune in live. We out. Peace.
All right, bye.